Hello everybody, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. This summer transfer window, already before it began, we almost knew it was a kind of a success because we signed Erling Haaland and also we signed Julian Alvarez in the winter transfer window as well in January, but that has gone under the mat. I know the entire I would not call it hype, but the entire because there's nothing to hype about Haaland. It's the truth we are speaking. Haaland is one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. So, but the talk has been about Erling Haaland, but the signing that has gone under the mat has been Julian Alvarez. I've been trying to discuss this with some of my friends, in some of the social media accounts and all of that, but none of the people they're not showing as much interest in Julian Alvarez as people are really talking about Erling Haaland. Tushar is here. Hey Tushar, how are you doing, mate? Man City winning CL next season. Yes, exactly. We will go deep into the competition. I never want to jinx the competition by telling that we'll win the title, but I promise you that we'll go much more deeper than we did this season into the competition. And the player that I'm going to talk about today, Julian Alvarez, is going to play a major part in this. Yesterday night, there were so much of news coming from the Copa Libertadores in South America. It's a competition in South America. Julian Alvarez has taken 2 match balls yesterday in a match in that competition. 6 goals. He has scored 6 goals in the first division. Now you might tell me the quality of the division and all, but who scores 6 goals in a division which is sort of competitive? He was playing for River Plate FC. Looking closely at Julian Alvarez, I saw the highlights of that. I saw the first goal yesterday. People are telling Haaland it's time to settle down into this Pep system. That is true. Haaland will not just gel into it and give us 20-25 goals. Well, he might, but the expectation is he won't, because playing in that Pep Guardiola system, you need a sense of understanding of how positional play works. Haaland is not going to stand at the back post and De Bruyne will not supply him. That is not how we play. Pep's kind of play requires you to have an understanding of where should you be when a midfielder is in a wide position. Where should you be when a midfielder is dropping deep? Understanding of all of that takes time, but Julian Alvarez is ready for the Pep system. You see the first goal yesterday. Julian Alvarez drops back. He presses the opponent midfielder. He wins the ball back. He passes it to his own midfielder, and then he makes a run, and the midfielder gives him a pass. So and he goes on and finishes it 1-on-1. That is the kind of play that Pep Guardiola craves for. Let me know in the comments, who do you think we can compare Julian Alvarez with? Because when we signed Julian Alvarez, people were telling Sergio Aguero. Sergio Aguero is nearest comparison. But then I spoke to a few River Plate fans, even on social media, a few River Plate fans were telling it's wrong. Sergio Aguero and Julian Alvarez are completely different. Yes, Sergio Aguero, when he played under Pep, he became that player who dropped back, who pressed and all. But Sergio Aguero, at the same age as Julian Alvarez, he came to City at almost the same age, but when Sergio Aguero started his career, he was almost a striker on his own. He played up front most of the time. He didn't drop back, he didn't press. None of those things were happening with Aguero. But Alvarez is different. With Alvarez, you're getting, if I look at this, I was just thinking myself, whom can you compare Julian Alvarez with? Because it's certainly not Sergio Aguero. His qualities are completely different. His passing, his movement of the ball, the way he goes on and presses the defenders, it's completely different from what a Sergio Aguero does. Not Sergio Aguero. So a River Plate fan said, Thomas Muller. I was surprised. In these many years, I think in the last 10-15 years, how many you've seen players compared with Lionel Messi, you've seen players compared with even Neymar, you've seen players compared with, he's the next David Silva, he's the next Kevin De Bruyne, things like that. He's the next Wayne Rooney. But He's the next Lewandowski. But I haven't seen a player being compared with Thomas Muller. When that River Plate fan said, mate, you're wrong that Julian Alvarez is you're comparing him to Sergio Aguero. Majority of a fan base is wrong. Julian Alvarez is a kind of a Thomas Muller. He likes to drop back. He likes to play between the lines. He likes to the movement of the ball with Julian Alvarez. It's almost like having having a rating of 99 in FIFA in real life in terms of movement. That is how much of a great movement Julian Alvarez has. But I wasn't satisfied with those Thomas Muller claims as well, because when I was seeing his goals yesterday, he reminded me of Robbie Firmino, the way Robbie Firmino in his prime at Liverpool would drop back, press. Pep Guardiola once even said, if I had someone like a Robbie Firmino with his work rate, with his kind of linking up of play and all, well, I could just conquer anything that is in front of me. We could go win all the trophies. Now I think Pep Guardiola has really got onto that sort of a player, Julian Alvarez. I think even if Haaland didn't come this summer, Pep wouldn't have been as much bothered, because Pep knows he's got a gem in Julian Alvarez. Now my only question is, how will Julian Alvarez fit in? Because he's good enough to play as a striker, he's good enough to play as a false nine, but is he good enough to play with Erling Haaland on the wing, for example? How will Pep fit Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland into the same team? That's another question. I mean, I was even thinking, I think if you remember in 2017-18, I think, when Benjamin Mendy was there, Pep tried that two striker system, 3-5-2 with Benjamin Mendy, playing as a wing back, Kyle Walker another wing back, Jesus and Sergio Aguero playing up front. We scored 5 against Liverpool in one of those games, and then Mendy got injured and all of those things. So could we see the return of such a system? Could we see Julian Alvarez being paid up front with Erling Haaland? I mean, I would not say up front in a sort of 4-4-1-1 system where Alvarez just plays of Haaland, where Alvarez does all the hard work and then Haaland is your furthest striker. It could be possible. It could very much be possible. 4-4-1-1. I mean, because, Pep is really looking to unlock another dimension as to how we are playing. Yes, we're playing in a 4-3-3 and all of that, but I think Pep is really looking at another tactic, because this season we have struggled a bit against teams, who man-mark our CDM, who sit back a bit deep, like Crystal Palace, for example. I mean, we've struggled a bit against certain systems, especially that Crystal Palace system, where, they block our midfield. They literally overload the midfield, and they don't allow your Cancelos and your wide players to come inside. So I think Julian Alvarez could be the answer to a lot of things. And my God, you should just go back and check the highlights once. His finishing, it's just amazing. His finishing, his passing, the way he drops back and does that. He's ready for the team. He's absolutely ready for the team. His work rate and everything. Now I think if Pep, Julian Alvarez has the work rate of Gabby Jesus. Don't get me wrong, Gabby Jesus is excellent in terms of working hard, in terms of tracking back, everything. His only, where he lacks Gabby Jesus is finishing. It's not always at the top level. And I think Julian Alvarez is an upgrade on Gabriel Jesus. I know a few fans might be upset by this, but I'm really sure that Julian Alvarez is an upgrade on Gabriel Jesus. His passing, and I'll just imagine a front three, for example, of Foden, Haaland and Alvarez, with Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva sitting deep. So that would be something else actually. That would be an attacking pride, because all the three are excellent finishers. Foden, Haaland and Alvarez. All the three are beasts. They're as cold-blooded monsters as you will see in front of goal. Only Ederson, I think, is cold-blooded than them. The finishing is, it's almost like they finish the hardest of chances in their dreams. And imagine a dream of a midfielder in De Bruyne is supplying them. So I'm really excited with that, with what Julian Alvarez is bringing to us. It's a steal at £14 million. What we paid £15 million for Julian Alvarez, it's an absolute steal, guys. And He is a Thomas Muller. I think he's a sort of a Thomas Muller and a Robbie Firmino combined together. I think Julian Alvarez. He has the movement of a Thomas Muller, but he has the pressing, the passing, the linking up play, the hard working skills of a Robbie Firmino. That's such an interesting combination. I think Julian Alvarez is a generational talent as well. People talk about talent, but I'm convinced Julian Alvarez is a generational talent, especially what I've seen yesterday. We are getting a beast. He could rival Erling Haaland for the amount of goals he scores this season, Julian Alvarez. That's how good he is. People say if you get a player who has 99 finishing to play in real life, it's Julian Alvarez. But they say the same thing about Erling Haaland as well. So imagine two 99 rated players playing in real life. Wow. That is just fantastic. Now, another piece of news is Kalvin Phillips. I know we discussed about this, I think a week back when Leeds were still fighting the relegation, and news was coming out that Kalvin Phillips has a release clause that if Leeds do go down, he's at 25 million pounds. But now the asking price is set to be around 55 million pounds for Kalvin Phillips. And news is seeping through Daily Mail and all of those outlets that Pep is interested in Kalvin Phillips at 50 million pounds. But I do want to ask you guys as well, at 25, I thought Kalvin Phillips was exciting because he held the midfield on his own under Marcelo Bielsa. He basically knows how to play that positional football system, so is almost ready to slot into that team. But at 50, would you bring on that sporting guy? What's the name of the sporting guy? It's not Enzo Fernandez. It's yes, Matthew Nunes. Would you bring on Matthew Nunes? Because Matthew Nunes is also available for 55 million pounds. Or would you go for Kalvin Phillips at the same price? Because at 55, personally, if you ask me, I think I would go with Matthews Nunes, because Kalvin Phillips is good with the ball on the front foot, but Matthews Nunes I think is much more better defensively than Kalvin Phillips. Okay, Kalvin Phillips knows more of the positional play, but Nunes can always learn that. He has time because Rodri is sort of an established figure in the team, and Rodri can play most matches. But if you're asking me for a Fernandinho replacement, I think Matthews Nunes is much more suited, because Matthews Nunes is much more inventive than Kalvin Phillips, and the way he dribbles and stuff, I think Matthews Nunes for me is a bit of Fernandinho and a bit of Bernardo Silva combined together. I don't see that in Kalvin Phillips. For me, Kalvin Phillips is almost a pure DM, you could say, but Matthews Nunes, he can play as a DM, but he can also play that box-to-box role. He has those dribbling skills, that ball maneuvering intelligence of a Bernardo Silva with, I mean, he's the perfect Fernandinho replacement. He does what Fernandinho does. I mean, Fernandinho is not a pure DM. He is an enterprising attacking midfielder as well, box-to-box midfielder. And that is the same thing you're going to get with Matthews Nunes. So I do feel at 55 million pounds, it's better if you look at a Matthews Nunes or an Enzo Fernandez than Kalvin Phillips. And another subplot to this is Kalvin Phillips at 50, there'll be more competition, and also he's an English player, and they always tend to hype up the prices. Kalvin Phillips, I think at 35 is attractive at the most, but not at 50 million pounds. So I would not go anywhere near Kalvin Phillips. And also, in an interesting piece of development, Cucurella is another one I wanted to talk with you. So Cucurella has in a way indicated that he would be happy with a City transfer as well. He would be actually looking forward to train under Pep Guardiola and all these sort of things. So I do think, I mean, people say we have not got an Aguero replacement and we didn't get Kane, so we had to sign a striker and all of that. That is the priority position, but I disagree. You see who is the top scorers in the league? We are the top scorers in the league, not Liverpool. Even though Salah wins the Golden Boot, Spurs are in 5th position. So, in terms of the total goals scored. So, I mean, the goals are shared so well in our team that, okay, we got Haaland, but it's not an absolute priority for us. This transfer window for us, the absolute priority is getting a left back who can overlap on the outside and also who can go on the inside. Getting a left back who can do both, who can play as an inverted as well as a traditional one, along with having that sense of positional play, along with being comfortable in a 1v1 defending. I think it's actually difficult to get such a sort of a left back, and we haven't filled that left back position from 2017, since that Centurion season. Fabian Delph played there, then Zinchenko played there. Mendy has always been injured and he's been crap and stuff. So we have won 4 titles in 5 years, guys, without a proper left back. We have reached the Champions League semi-final and a Champions League final without a proper left back. Okay, Cancelo plays there, but Cancelo is too predictable. Cancelo is the fullback of the season, fullback of this season, I would say. But teams are getting to grips with how Cancelo plays. It's becoming too predictable. Look at what Aston Villa did. We were dead and buried after the first half. Aston Villa just defended narrow, plugged in the entire midfield. So Cancelo couldn't come inside. And people knew Cancelo cannot go outside and he cannot shift it onto his right foot, and he cannot do that. He cannot do that. So it was so predictable, and more teams will be doing that this season, that they'll be just defending narrow and plugging all of the gaps. So we need an alternative. JSK is here. JSK says he was from La Masia. Yes, Cucurella, right? Yes, Cucurella is from La Masia. Yeah. So that's why I'm excited with him, because La Masia trained in that sort of a system, knows the essence of positional play, has the Barcelona ethos. And we have seen in the past, Eric Garcia, he was from La Masia. Pep played him after four months of coming to City, right? Though he was just 17, 18 years of age. So even Pep also likes playing graduates of La Masia much more earlier, and we see that they adapt to his system in a month or even less sometimes. They know that positional play because that's what they've been taught from younger days. And also Graham Potter, Brighton. Graham Potter is one of my favorite managers after Pep Guardiola. When Pep Guardiola does leave, I hope he doesn't leave soon, but when he does leave, I think we have to look at Graham Potter as one of the potential replacements of Pep Guardiola, because again, Graham Potter is someone who for me can find solutions, excellent at positional play and stuff. So like I was telling, in these 5 seasons, Pep Guardiola hasn't been able to utilize the left flank. It's always been his fullbacks cutting in, Zinchenko, Delph, Cancelo, fullbacks cutting in, and that's it. So, people say City have reached almost the nadir, the top level, and you can't go beyond that. There's so much, but I do think you can go beyond that, because when has Pep unlocked his left-hand side? He has not unlocked his left-hand side, right? Mendy, for that little bit, whenever he was fit, showed what having a fullback who can overlap and who can deliver those crosses into the box can do. So since Benjamin Mendy, I don't think Pep in his career at City has ever had a fullback who could unlock that potential. So now if you have Cucurella, he can go outside as well as cutting side. So when your fullback goes outside, what it means is the defense can't defend narrow. They will have to spread out, because if they defend narrow, you have Alvarez, you have Haaland, you have De Bruyne running into the box, cross coming in. It almost becomes impossible to defend. So you have to prevent the cross coming in, which means the defense can't defend narrow, which means the opposition fullback will go wide and prevent the crosses coming in, which really means that gaps will open up for your midfield runners, for Erling Haaland, for example, to go into, for a De Bruyne, for a Gundogan to make those secondary runs. I think left back is the priority. The talk is about CDM. The talk is about even centre back, for example. If Laporte leaves, Pau Torres, I don't know where that link had come from, but left back has to be the priority. Left back needs to be where we really, I don't mind even if we spend 70-80 million at left back this season. I don't care what other clubs say, but I would just secure the services of Cucurella. He's the one name who I see right now. Theo Hernandez seems impossible. AC Milan has won the league and all of that. Theo Hernandez seems literally impossible. It would be really nice, Cancelo, Cucurella, Kyle Walker, Jan Kuto will be joining, Zinchenko. Suddenly you would be having so many options, right? If a defender is injured, Cucurella could slot in at left centre back, and I mean Cancelo could play at left back. So many options could be opened just by signing a left back. So I think signing of a left back is absolutely necessary. And also remember this name, guys, Julian Alvarez. Be excited about him. Be as much excited about him as you're about Erling Haaland, because he's just gonna be a baller. He's gonna take this league by surprise. When Sergio Aguero scored his first goal in 2013 in this league, 2011-12 in that season in this league, you know what? I think it was Martin Tyler who said, Sergio has announced himself in England. This is who they call Kun. That's what he said, and it will be the same reception. It will be the same kind of impact Julian Alvarez will have on this league. People are just underestimating it, but I really see Julian Alvarez taking the league by surprise, taking the league by storm. Is just gonna be an absolute beast. And at 14 million pounds we've got him, and everybody says City only spend huge amounts of money. They don't realize how good our scouting network has always been, right from when we were taken over. Even before that, our scouting network was good, but in the last decade or so, our scouting network has been it's been an absolute gem. Gabriel Jesus, for how much have we got him for? 25 million? Ferran Torres, 20 million and sold him for 50 million. Julian Alvarez, 14 million. Jan Kuto, 10 million. Jan Kuto is another guy. He'll be an absolute baller as well. Next season, guys, be very excited. Be absolutely excited. I'm very excited even now. Even though the season has just finished 3-4 days ago. Jan Kuto, they say he can cross like Twent. Excellent in 1v1 defending. Julian Alvarez plays like Thomas Muller. Erling Haaland, best center forward in Europe at this moment, in the world at this moment. Cucurella, I mean, one of the best fullbacks in this division. Could be another Andy Robertson. Fantastic. Already the excitement has started. Most teams are looking united. Even Liverpool, Arsenal, I mean everyone, Chelsea, everyone in this league is looking at the transfer window, whom we will buy. But we are in such a privileged position as City fans that we exactly know whom we will get. We exactly know the names as well. This is how much of an efficient mission we have become, efficient machine we have become. Fantastic recruitment from top to bottom. This is what was reflected in those 6 minutes. This is what that 6 minutes was all about. The way we operate as a club from top to bottom, the transparency, the amount of efficiency, the smoothness with which we operate, our excellent recruitment policy, all of that was reflected in those 6-minute blitz against Aston Villa. That's who we were. That's what was absolutely shown in a glimpse. So I hope you have enjoyed the show, and take care. And if you're liking the content, please click on the bell icon and also the subscribe button so that you get notifications. We'll almost be live every day at this time on this channel. We'll have fantastic discussions like this on this channel about the City's transfer window. What should we expect, and are there any other players should we go to? Are there any players that we're overlooking? We'll go into that. We have the luxury of already being at the top and adding Ballon d'Or winners. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years' time, Haaland, Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden will be the top 3 in the Ballon d'Or list. That's how much is the potential here. That's how much is what we are capable of, especially the players that we are bringing in. Anyway, guys, take care and see you all.